There's a lot of things you have to figure out in life on your own because nobody will teach you. When you study and read things, you get to it. This is a book about Freemasonry, so it says. But when I've just read into it and studied it, there's some things revealed here, of course, but it starts by talking about if you reveal any of the secrets of Freemasonry, you agree to have your heart cut out, your throat slit, and be killed, and have your eyes gouged out, and all this weird shit. And then when I was just starting to read it again for the second time, I noticed some language here in the first few pages. And I'm throwing this book in the trash now. This is actually not written by the men of Freemasonry or by people who want to teach men about Freemasonry. This is actually written about women. It's written by Malcolm C. Duncan, or Malcolm, which mal means bad and cum is like sperm or sex juice. So C. Duncan, Malcolm C. Duncan, the bad cum C. Duncan. The Duncans used to dunk the people under the water and tell them, do you submit? Do you submit? And if you didn't submit, they'd kill you by dunking you under the water. That's the old conquistador or colonist attitude. And as I'm reading this, and I was questioning it when I read it the first time, before the candidate is required to strip. So if you're with a group of men that's straight and not gay, no group of men want a man to strip for their ceremonies. No man of solid heart will strip for Sarah money or Sarah monies. Then it says, be serviceable to your fellow creatures. We're not creatures, we're human beings, not creatures. Of the institution. When you're talking about vague terms like of the institution, of the company, of this, of the you're not speaking of Freemasons, you're speaking of a secret institution or company. And when I watched a movie called Black Klansman by Spike Lee, that's a talk for the white supremacist or the KKK when you're so vague like that. Cable tow. They wrap a cable tow around you when you're naked to move you around, and you let it drag behind you. A drag behind cable tow. So a cable tow could be your penis, right? Your toe. Because a cable tow would be like that. And then a camel toe is what you call it when a woman has tight pants and you can see the outline of her pubic area, her vagina, her and then let it drag behind. It sounds a lot like a drag brunch. Your cable toe drag behind, you can tuck it and then it'll drag it behind you if you tuck it in behind you. Your do guard sign, your guard your doo-doo, your do guard sign. It's like, so I'm reading this. The candidate has given his assent, his assent, his consent. So it's also written by Crown Publishers or Corona. A bunch of weird stuff in here. It's cool and all. However, a bunch of secret handshakes. So there's a lot of information in here. The perfect ashlar, the rough ashlar. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that's probably related to Masonry. A lot of names and symbology. And like, even the things that I find when I read other spiritual books, I write in them. You know, there's symbols in here, like hand symbols, and a fellow that looks like he's kind of like, hey, look, I'm jaunty. Like, so what I'm going to do here is look for the pictures, because pictures are always good. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. That's how you're supposed to set up if you're having a lodge meeting. You know, get it lodge for your ascent and your cable tow and your drag behind. It's a special fellow. You know, you've got their aprons and all this stuff. And they've got their ephods where they put their picture with their names of all their children on their aprons. That's the ephod, or the apron that they wear. Once you start having children, you put their names on the stones and you wear them. Some more symbols and stuff. However, they wouldn't have put this together. They got some names in here. They try and change it with like different time frames and stuff. Here's the man with himself partially exposed with his cable tow around his neck. So maybe because I read this is why I was turned off by the whole idea of being part of these people. Again, these wearing clothing, but they talk about being naked for their ceremonies. No group of men wants to be around a bunch of men that are naked or tell them to be naked. So they describe some of the stuff, what you need to do your work as a mason. They talk about all kind of stuff, you know. And my favorite stuff, look, this shit even says Amos chapter 7, and it kind of looks like anus chapter 7 if you look at it real quick, or out of focus. Kind of looks like a butthole or a vagina. It looks more like a vagina, but it could be an asshole. Like, you know, so like there's a lot of corruption. A lot of corruption. They're giving out some hand signals, some special hand holds. Oh, that's a Freemason grip. Oh, did you get the grip right? And you look at these images, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear out the pages that I want to keep and then throw the book in the trash. Because this book is actually not written by any kind of ancient order of men or Freemasonry. This kind of gets into the other side of it. They talk about rolling people up naked in carpets and like doing all these plays and stuff. And in fact, because I like to keep my soul space and my spirit space clear, I'm gonna basically throw this book in the trash without ripping out any pictures. It's a bunch of men around another man when they roll them up on the carpet and do some weird shit. Like, I don't. And I could go through this and read into the language better. They're hugging, you know, hey, let's hug and put cheek to cheek. And, you know, like, I'm not, oh no, it's the scary chambers. Look, there's different kinds. I'm not like that dude at all. I'm not that dude. There's your beehive. That's obviously the women who are setting this up. Here's your butt plug or your dildo. You know, the sun. They're pushing that towards the sun. You see that? It's a penis shape. It's a penis shape going to the sun. There's the moon and the stars saying, hey, take the penis shape, stab them with your sword, put it in the cup. There's your anchor and your arc and your mathematics. You got your mathematics and your anchor and your arc. Look, here's some other swell things. Look, it's the test of time with wings and a Sith and these things, a plunger and a coffin and this. So it teaches about the King of Tyr and Hiram Abiff and all this stuff. However, if you really look at this stuff, it's not exactly what you might think. So And they teach about the widow's sons and the letters of it. And it's good stuff to know, right? It's good stuff to know, right? So it's a lot about hand signals, how you shake hands, your tools. Another little hand right there. Like that's necessary to put that right there. So there's a lot of things. Here's your special handshakes. And quite honestly, when I was reading this the first time, I thought, wow, I'm learning some secret stuff or some cool stuff. That's clearly Daughters of the Eastern Star, not the men. There's your maul and your chisel. You know, your maul and your chisel, like. And they talk about the letters and what they all represent and like blah, 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 blah. You know, mark of a master mason. Mark of a mark master mason. Here's your Ezekiel chapter 11. Again, that gap right there. That's showing the women are in charge, right? Keeping it square and compass and circumspect. Here's some more dew guards. You know, like, then you got like this here. Again, these are all like symbols that don't really mean nothing to me. However, you know, you only have to read stuff once or twice or be around it a little bit. That kind of looks like half of a Mayan calendar, sorta. It says most excellent master, 6th degree. You know, like, so like when I see all this stuff, I got excited. You know, wow, I'm learning some stuff. But really, ain't no men going out and hanging out with each other naked. Naked, nope, not happening, ever. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Don't see it, don't see it. And if you see it, don't say nothing or hear it. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. So like, it's all fucked up weird shit. Royal Arch of the 7th degree, wow. You get to put your poles in the Ark of the Covenant. Ooh. So, a lot of people are upset with the world right now, including me. Oh, here's some of these curtains and holiest of holies and a bunch of men guarding other men, guarding secrets and guarding the secret stuff. So like, you know, and then like, hey, let's hold hands and go 3 by 3 by 3 and put your feet together and put your hands together and ooh, ah, ah. Look, it says, Yah, huh, lun, Jah, huh, lun, lun, ha, Jah. Look, it's saying Jah, and then Jehovah, Jabulon, Jabulon, Jahulon, Jabulon. Look at that. Jabulon, Jahulon. So like, this here, this book, Jehovah, Jehovah. Then you got some dudes with sticks. Hey, we got some sticks. We're gonna hang out with sticks and give our assent. And like our picks and our chisels and our mauls. Then you got all this fun stuff here. You got your stars and all your things. You ready to go? You got your upside down triangle and a circle. You know, like the women, that represents their space. So like, anyways, yeah. First full reading completed April 24th, 2025, Columbia Heights, District of Columbia, 1413 Girard Street. That's where I live now in this homeless shelter. Blah, 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 blah. To the degrees of Mark Master, Past Master, Most Excellent Master, and the Royal Arch. Guide to the 3 symbolic degrees of the ancient York Rite. Explained and interrupted by copious notes and numerous engravings. And that's how you clear your soul space and you keep your shit proper. Reporting live from Ha Ha Ha.